There's Aaron again.
Got
Looking
a
very
haircut,
fancy. I like that also. Everyone knows my personal opinion on haircuts in the LPL.
Big haircut guy.
Oh yeah. There's Echo the ban there for EDG once again, taking that away from MLXG. Twisted Bait gonna be the change this time though for Oscurin.
Uh-oh.
As that'll be the ban away from RNG. Gonna join in Jace there. So a mid laner for a mid laner there.
If there's anything that we've learned today, it's that Pastry Time is a big fan of haircuts.
Look, OMG actually are playing next. We'll have a check-in. We'll have a check-in with the LPL hair power rankings. But right now we have a draft. The swap side's over. Rek'Sai going to be banned away from Clear Love there by RNG. Though not nearly as many top lane bans this time around. Koro going to have his pick of quite a few powerful top laners, you have to think. Here with the last ban especially, going to be that Rise from EDG.
Rise being banned away. We'll see if the Gnar goes through and if they're going to prioritize it for Koro. Again, this is 5.13. The only big champion that I was, positive wasn't going to make any play in this set was going to be Echo, just because MLXG was in it. The curious thing is, I actually haven't seen Clearlove pick up Echo jungle.
No, instead Shen actually the pick there for EDG with Kalista being banned away from Def. Makes sense, Kalista a very powerful champion. But Shen instead, not the Gnar, so kind of the current in-meta tank there for the top lane there for Koro.
Did also have some questions on how EDG were going to fare adapting to the new patch. If there's one weakness that I would give Clearlove, it's that he doesn't necessarily transition very well, very quickly. Now, of course, the big one and the most recent one was his Gragas play. When he first started playing Gragas, it was very underwhelming. That said, his most recent Gragas performance has been much better. Clearlove, of course, one of those players that will put in the hard work. If you interview any of his teammates, past and present, Messiah, Def, they say no one is more hardworking than Clearlove, so can now play it, but it doesn't surprise me that I haven't seen him on Echo jungle.
I guess so. Still learning it, I think. Definitely a player that feels like he just spams game with the champion to really master. Unlike Pawn, who apparently picks it up and is like, yeah, this champion's great.
This is cool, I got it.
Yeah, as the Scion actually, so moving in Sky actually opens up that top lane pick there for the team. They are going to pick it in their first rotation, along with the Sivir. Very different, but very solid game plan for RNG as Evelyn Jana straight into the picks for EDG.
And they're able to rotate that Evelyn very quickly just because the Twisted Fate is banned away, so that they know that there's no counter pick there. Are we watching RNG or World Elite? A first rotation Scion and Sivir?
Yeah, well, it is RNG Sky, of course, opening up a little bit more flexibility in the top lane picks. But we'll see what RNG want to take away for themselves. Very different comp already from EDG, but I like that you said Evelyn a little bit more available. See what RNG want to go with. Looks like Xiaohu's flipping through just about every champion in the league.
Ooh, Oriana.
Maybe. 20 seconds left. We'll see if he wants to select that champion here. I wonder what Deft wants to play. Because Jana is like a very specific style of support.
Yeah, likewise, he could go to his Corki. That said, Sivir does have a decent matchup against Corki, at least until he gets his level 6 ultimate, and then it's very easy for him to burn her spell shield and then drop more damage. But the level 1 through 5 is actually in Sivir's favor. She's going to have more control of the creep waves. Likewise, she's going to deny a ton of his damage through the spell shield on the phosphorus bomb.
Yeah. Well, we'll maybe find it. We'll have to find out here, actually.
I think it's Caitlyn.
Well, Gragas Thresh there for RNG. Does open up something like Caitlyn there for Deft, and we saw the Ezreal being flashed there for RNG. Braum is off the table, you have to think, with supports picked up for both sides, so that could be something that Paul wants to take away. We've seen him play it already with pretty great success, but EDG might just keep it nice and solid. They kept it really stable and standard in game number 1. Might be changing it up, might not be here in game 2.
Flashing through quite a few options.
Tryndamere, briefly there for Deft, probably not the selection.
I think it's going to be Victor.
Have we seen Pawn play Victor yet?
Yes. Victor, likewise, isn't going to have many counter options to him. We're curious if Xiaohu will look towards Kassadin. That seems to be the immediate response that a lot of LPL mid laners are pulling out.
Do have Azir as well, but maybe doesn't fancy that matchup, of course. Has been left open, notably here for both these players. They're both very well-known Azir players, but instead it is Caitlyn Victor there. Oh, I got trolled.
Wow.
Denying. Not even denying, actually. Just kind of showing up to Woosh there, saying, yep, I'm going to take your vein against you.
Yeah, what a slap in the face.
That is a slap in the face.
That's a backhanded. This is the thing, though. So by picking Victor, it kind of puts a little bit of pressure on Xiaohu to lock in his Azir. It's not a terrible matchup. I'm not going to call Victor a hard counter to Azir, but it is definitely a soft counter. Victor has a lot more options and a lot more tools, where the Emperor's Divide doesn't really mean anything to Victor, simply because he can output so much damage over walls anyway, that, Azir comes out, throws the Emperor's Divide, Victor's like, that's cool, I'm just going to place my Chaos Storm on the other side of it and watch you explode.
Yeah, instead Xiaohu kind of flicking between picks, Lay sort of asking his teammate, what do you want to play here? Sorry, Gasaway briefly. Don't think we'll be seeing that one here. And I do like the slap in the face there as well, taking that vein into Sivir. We used to see this all the time in the last few weeks of the LPL.
Yep.
But instead it will be Azir there for Xiaohu, going to take that into Pawn's Victor.
Shurima. Xiaohu is, if you're going to think about the quintessential Azir player, he was one of the first guys to play the Azir. We talked about, Pawn has a great Azir as well, a very strong champion for him. But Xiaohu, this is his bread and butter.
Yeah, apart from this and Xerath, which we haven't seen in a little while, sadly, for all the Xerath players out there. This has certainly been one of Xiaohu's best performing champions, and he needs it, honestly. It's a tough matchup here. Not that tough, but tricky, especially against the caliber of player that he's playing against here in Pawn. But if he can get it done here, Xiaohu, again, has had a really disappointing season, given how strong he looked at the end of spring. Going back to something like Azir against tough opposition like EDG makes a ton of sense to me.
What's going to be really important between these two...
As we can see, the Alpaca himself in the intro. He's going to move ourselves in a game at number 2 here. EDG taking on RNG. EDG continuing a recent hot streak, you have to say. Always been strong here in China, even if they let themselves go just a little bit with some losses here this particular split. But it is crunch time as we move in towards playoffs, and even EDG sitting atop the tower here in the LPL want to make sure they finish strong and finish first.
This is actually one of their most dominating splits that they've ever had, even when EDG were first created, so back when they had Name and Yu as their AD carry and mid laner. They didn't really take off until the playoff. Yes, they were sitting at the very top with OMG, but they were never, you know, this far or this dominant in the lead.
And this year has certainly been their year.
Yep.
Look, domestically, internationally, EDG have just been a joy to watch all 2015.
Someone pings one more time.
So what can they get done here? As RNG are down a game, looking to try and keep their playoff hopes alive, but starting to slip away from them at this point. 1 point is not great, but it's better than 0.
Now it's really just RNG looking at LGD like, please?
Give us some points. Not this time.
Not this
Maybe
time.
the old LDG would have given you some points. But not with this playoff format. That's one word to put it, cute. So looks like they are planning some sort of sneaky level 1. This is very sneaky. Gonna sneak 3 people into the brush.
I wish I could see what spell Lei has, if he has his Flay versus his Death Sentence. I would assume it's going to be the Death Sentence. So what they're doing is Sion from Fog of War is going to charge up his Smash, the knock-up, and it's going to give 2 free quick CCs between Thresh and Sion.
Well, Def gonna check straight into them here. Hook lands, charge up goes! There's the knock-up as well. Def gets ignited, forced to tumble out, but a heal at the last second's gonna keep him alive. No! Whoosh with the flash auto gets first blood.
Forced to flash. If he hadn't hit with that last auto, he would not have gotten it.
Clearly the level 2 gank in the mid lane. Gonna flash after Xiaohu, and just like that, answers with the next kill of the game.
You like crazy all-in level 1s? I got you crazy all-in level 1. Takes the red buff, immediately runs mid, but here's MLXG.
Yep, looking for something, but not gonna find Clearlove. Pawn gonna keep it safe. Just gonna hit the minions a couple more times as Clearlove gonna make sure this goes into the tower.
Okay, so important to kind of touch base on where the top laners are now. So Sky sacrificed any sort of advantage or even footing that he would have gotten with Koro Shen. Totally fine. He's not going to do anything to his Shen anyway. Sion doesn't have a lot of kill pressure. He's got great clear underneath tower. But sacrificing that to make sure that Wushin gets ahead in his lane.
Yep, and got the first kill. That's exactly what you want with that sort of sneaky brush strategy. Is Lei gonna sneak into another brush here, maybe try and gank Pawn, but Pawn intelligently staying on this left side of the lane with Thresh missing from the bottom side.
And naturally he wants to play to that side, not only because his jungler's up there, but also because he has control of the scuttle grab as well as a ward.
Going back to that, both honestly pretty crazy early kills there. Nice setup there from RNG, but I love when Clearlove ganks level 2. It's just so great.
I feel like he did that though because they saw that the resources had been expended bottom and the pressure was there.
And that's even better, honestly. Like responding to something that quickly, being like, oh, I'm doing my red buff, quick, better run to the mid lane and try and trade. Just shows really how smart of a jungler Clearlove is. We forget that those Lee Sin games he played earlier on in the year where he just went absolutely off on ganks. Doesn't happen too often these days, but every now and then just makes you smile.
They call it light Clearlove and dark Clearlove.
Evil Clearlove. As Def might be in trouble again here. MLXG gonna line up that gank. Great flash body slam there. Could be enough there. Def taking damage. Shield is good, but it's not enough to protect him. Great hook from Lei. Gonna follow in for kill number 2. And RNG doing what they do best. Roll the dice and go crazy.
This is what we were talking about. EDG, they initiated the lane swap last game, and yes, that's a direct counter to RNG because they're not solo queue heroes, but they're more solo queue oriented. They're not as experienced with advanced macro play. If you give them a 2v2, if you give them a 1v1, they have the mechanics to stand toe-to-toe with the best players in the world. That was awesome. Okay, first and foremost, knowing that you're ganking Def because he doesn't have a flash. A little bit curious why Def decided to go back and forth. Oh, he was sidestepping the flay. But beautiful play from Lei. Does miss the flay, but the hook right here on Mako to pull it in. The teleport is cancelled, and then Wushin, just so confident, has the red buff, steps forward, finds the boomerang.
Yeah, and that's RNG all over there as they're punishing this Vayne pick, honestly. This was Def's almost like flex pick here, not in the sense that it's like flexible, but like he's flexing towards the enemy team. And
Style.
then, yeah, it's a style choice here. We saw Godby do this a little bit in spring, and they're making him pay for what's a very squishy level 1 champion.
Abusing the fact that he didn't have that flash. See where
No heal either after that level 1.
Yeah. Kind of still a little bit of a weird positioning from Def. I feel like he could have just walked back into his tower with the shield.
Well,
he was looking for from the teleport from Koro to see if they could find like a counter on it.
that one got cancelled as well, though. Koro instead going to farm things up in the top side. Looking good on Shen early. Only a door on shield here as Sky's gone back and got himself a balmy Cinder. But top lane should be a whole lot of farming in the first 15 minutes or so.
And again, there's 0 kill pressure between Sion and Shen. Nothing's going to happen unless you get the mid laners and the junglers involved.
Pawn a little low on mana there as well. Struggling a little bit against Xiaohu, but not massively. Doran's ring a piece plus the Hex Core there for Pawn, but pretty normal stuff early on here. Does have a nice CS lead after Clearlove's pressure, but Clearlove sort of backed off from that pressure. And you can look at Deft. He's like, yep, don't want to go anywhere near that brush so they can't see Lei in.
This is not fun, guys.
Oh, misses the cannon. It's awkward because there was actually no pressure in the lane. But Deft, you know he just feels scared. It's actually 20 CS down on Woosh right now as the wave comes crashing towards his tower.
Likewise, the fact that Wushin is able to itemize a BF sword this early into the game. Those boomerangs, if they hit, gonna be massive.
Ricochet is eating through waves here as well. Deft tumbles out from a hook there from Lei. But the pressure will not stop here. Shields from Mako are going to keep Deft as healthy as they can make it, but not a whole lot left. Or a Xiaohu gets ulted there by Victor.
He's just trying to push the wave forward so he can go back.
Yep.
So early game Azir is going to have the advantage against Pawn just because we're going to be able to push in farther and he's going to have a bit more of an oppressive reach with the Sand Soldiers. As soon as Pawn gets to make his initial back and itemize into that Hex Core upgrade, he's going to have so much more wave clear and it's going to be much more mana efficient than Azir that the power dynamic will really shift back to Victor's favor.
You can see Pawn just getting what farm he can, using that power transfer nicely to get some CS under turret, but wants to go back. Probably going to find his spot right now as the wave resets. And again, back in top lane. Just a whole host of farming as Koro edged out a nice little CS lead there for Sky, probably due to the level 1 shenanigans.
And we are fairly even on gold. There is a slight advantage to RNG, but it's pretty much entirely in Wushin's pocket.
Oh, yeah.
2-0-1 right now on the server. 100% kill participation as well as that early BF sword. So see if Wushin's able to carry from the Sivir since he couldn't do it last game from Vayne.
Deft, of course, on that Vayne, going to try and recoup some of the losses and see where he can get to in the mid game. But right now, it's another slow start here after all the early action. Deft just wants to hold on and get whatever farm is given to him by RNG, and we'll see what Woosh and Lei want to do in this lane. Right now, I'm not going to push it too hard.
He's short up a bit of his CS discrepancy, trying to make these trades happen since he does have the control of the wave, so a little bit scarier for Woosh and Lei to fight into them this low health, especially because A, they don't know where Clearlove is as he sneaks in the back, but more importantly that they'd fight Deft and Mako as well as an army of creeps.
Yeah, nice gank setup here actually for Clearlove, going to find his way back into another brush. Might be a little too much time spent here in the bottom lane though, but MLXG also coming back around. Suspects something, gets a great bounce onto Mako, but Clearlove's here. Pops the Agony's embrace, Lei's getting low. We'll go down to Clearlove. Now Woosh getting under fire as Deft will flash the wall. Goodbye, Sivir, as everyone goes over. And there's 2 kills to 1 for EDG.
Was that? Oh, it was 2 flashes and a taunt. And immediately the gank is turned around primarily with the Stand United. I think it was actually a bit of a mistake to use the Stand United on Deft versus on Mako to make sure that they couldn't get him out of that fight. But either way, EDG do find their footing back into this, and more importantly, the blue buff.
Yeah, a worthy sacrifice there as Def gets himself back into the lane with a couple of kills and then assist. Clearlove going to take the Scuttle Crab, and Dragon not going to be taken just yet here, but EDG arrest control back of the only chaotic part of the map, which was that bottom side. And look, we've talked about it a bit, but the lane is only going to get better for Vayne as she gets more and more items.
Vayne was often considered a counter pick to Sivir by a lot of professional players simply because it's impossible to out-duel a Vayne. Likewise, her passive will really help her chase down Sivir as kind of the upgraded Sivir passive. I mean, that said, though, when you're in a Sivir lane, you're not fighting Sivir, you're fighting the creeps.
Yep, just trying to battle the wave back as Pawn using that death ray. Now upgraded with that level 1 Hex, who I think, actually, is that 2 levels? It is. So that's 2 upgrade points, I believe.
Should be in his Q and his laser to give him the burn damage at the end. But hold on, MLXG in the top.
Yep, now Koro in trouble. Has to get out, gets knocked up though by MLXG. Sky going to follow in as well with a smash. Gets the knock up there as well. Red buff Greg is pretty damn sticky. Nice taunt to try and keep himself alive.
Oh,
good
nice
flash
flash
out from the ulti. Clearlove here as well. Put a hook down the bottom lane onto Mako as Deft. Going to fight in the middle. Flash play box there from Lei forces Mako to flash out. And Woosh continuing to be the aggressor in bottom lane.
Deft and Mako not able to go aggressive after Deft actually got good positioning in the fight, but hold on.
Too many creeps, but they're going to fight in as Korra going to join the lane. Deft going to get the condemn there. They're fighting it on onto Woosh, but a hook lands onto Mako. Woosh will fall though, just lives there with the ulti. Deft condemns and gets the double.
And Mako sidesteps the back half of the boomerang blade, immediately opens up into a monsoon, and barely lives, making sure that Wushin cannot trade 1 for 2.
It's almost like Mako is really good at League of Legends.
He's a god.
Really good player there. Sky trying to work on the tower in the top lane. EDG though, interested in Dragon #1. Not quite as early as the last one, but they will take it.
And they have to come in on this. Likewise, Sky will get some decent damage onto that top side simply because they burned the teleport, the Stand United down. No, it was a teleport.
Yeah, it was teleport. Didn't have Stand United, unfortunately. So Korra can't make it back to the top lane immediately, but Dragon will go over to EDG as a result. And Xiaohu getting pressured on by Pawn. He's actually 20 CS behind.
This is one of the issues of having a Scion top laner versus any other top laner, though, is that there's not a lot of structure pressure, so there's no trade that RNG have available for this.
Instead, Sky goes back, gets himself a Spectre's Cowl. MLXG lining up a gank on mid lane. Pawn low on mana with Clearlove by his right. Probably doesn't want to be in the lane anyway. Gonna line himself up a recall there as Blade of the Ruined King is almost done for Deft after that last shopping trip.
It's really important that RNG are taking this window of opportunity to walk in and to play steep wards. The reason they're doing this is because they understand that after EDG picked up all of those kills as well as the Dragon, they want to go home, spin their gold, and reset their health bars and mana bars. So they know that there's no one to stop them from walking in.
Let's see Deft looking a bit more aggressive. It's actually Clearlove right next to him, invisible. Snuck in again to the bottom lane. This is brutal Evelyn ganks here as Clearlove's just going to go in for it. Condemn their lands in. They want Woosh as a target. Spell Shield's the first bit. Lantern is good. Pop the ulti there as well to live. And Clearlove with no trigger pulled on the ultimate will let them live this time.
Really beautiful positioning from Lei, kind of the unsung hero of this lane, even spoon-feeding Wushin all of those kills.
Well, staying under the tower might be the mistake Stand United used as well. They're going to get the bottom side. Woosh dies immediately. Now Lei's going to get crushed as well. MLXG, the next one to get chased, does get taunted up as the Chaos Storm will chase. Flashes over the wall to the Gromp and safety, but EDG going to get 2 clean kills and a turret.
And immediately the power has now swung back in favor of EDG on the bottom side of this map. MLXG just not able to keep up with the continuous counter ganking and pressure from Shin and Evelyn.
And this is the thing, EDG, I feel like whenever they fall behind early, it's almost worse for you as a team just because it seems like Clearlove gets angry and he's like, you know what, if you're ganking my lanes, I'm going to go ahead and crush your lanes. And with Pawn having a nice time here in this lane, Xiao, who's starting to struggle in the matchup now that the levels have shifted over. They're going to lose another tower, actually. Mako's here just to make sure it goes down.
The immediate rotation, and this is why I also really like kind of the uprising of Janna. Naturally, we've seen a lot of hard engaged supports, and typically when you see a Janna, the counter is to pick Shen, or not Shen, Thresh, because you want to all-in grab her and just blow her up since she is very soft and squishy. But the thing is she's going to empower disengage, which is really great against all of these hard engaged compositions, but more importantly, she'll also empower rotations around the map with her tailwind and structure sieging. And if there's anything the LPL meta is about right now, more so than team fighting, it's structures.
Yep, take the towers. We used to joke about how they didn't exist. Now they exist, but
that's
not for
they're
very long.
Obsessed with them.
Historically, yes, has proven to be the case.
Diving them, killing them, ignoring them.
Taking gold out of them.
It's all about the towers.
It is. This is Koro down the bottom lane. Going to collect farm. We actually had a swap here of the lanes as Vane's going to move into the top lane to pressure Sion. Sky, though, we're going to line up an ultimate with MLXG by the looks of things. Deft is very far forward.
Top goes the Deft. Here he goes.
Deft is, yeah, he's like, oh, I don't really want to be here. Oh, they're looking for a dive. This is awkward. Turret goes down in the mid lane. That's
Sky?
the sun tower. Yeah, it doesn't come in now. Finally goes in. MLXG gonna live.
Oh.
Comes out to surprise them.
Oh. He's rusty. He's rusty.
Rusty on the Sion.
It's been a while since he got to start.
Well, you can see MLXG does live through the pressure, but he'll live back in the top lane. Ultimate ready as well. 4 members now in here for RNG, but mid lane rotating up. Koro doesn't have his ulti, but it's up soon. Might be another 5-man in the top lane.
A lot of members moving up here.
Yeah, I mean, Pawn is just... It's weird to look at this game and credit Pawn so much, given that he's just sort of been sitting in lanes farming, but so much of this control has been around the center of the map that Pawn's just completely owned.
And if there's one thing that you can say against Xiaohu outside his champion pool, it's that he doesn't really impact the map. He kind of sits in lane and he does his own things. He doesn't play high mobility champions. I mean, Jace does have some of the mobility, but he just stays in lane. And Pawn's done a great job keeping him there, but then also on a kind of an immobile champion himself, moving around and making plays happen.
And that's one of Pawn's biggest strengths, is his roaming in the early game. We used to see it all the time. He would just hang out with Mako and Clearlove, leave his lane, and go ahead and gank. Now it's actually Mako and Clearlove doing most of that sort of work, given that mid laners are a bit more static in the mid lane now with the likes of Victor and Azir, but Pawn still makes it work on that sort of champions. And Shao was a great playmaker in like team fighting situations, but it's just not the same early game impact.
No, completely agree.
That was it. I'm like, yep, that's all I got.
No, I completely agree. Pawn, I mean, he wins his lane and then he walks into the enemy jungle and he kills your jungler.
Yep, and might be doing that just now,
Look
level
at him.
11.
Just cruising for a bruising.
Well, it does have 2 upgrade points. Sandra United used there by Koro. Another tower dive here from EDG. They've got Lei under the tower. They'll take him out. Pawn gets the kill. Deft forced to flash away. He's trying to cut out from under that Q. Clearlove's taken out Woosh. MLXG is super low under his own turret. Def will pick up the kill. Now the second there as he gets the double. And a great dive there from EDG. Going to give them 4 kills. And Xiaohu real late to the party.
And that's the EDG we know and love. And likewise, the Chinese aggression that made this region famous is the tower diving and the ability to juggle the aggro. Mako took it first, immediately reset it, and then Koro picked it up on the back half, and it was smooth sailing.
Smooth indeed. Going to give them a turret now as well as Pawn. Kind of popping a smile there. Oh, Xiaohu making a play! Onto Def, does get the kill, but he might pay for it here. Mako, can he go down as well? Pops the barrier, might make it 2. Can it be 3? No, Clearlove will take him out. But that's what we talk about. That is the Xiaohu effect.
Shurima.
Yep.
He is the Azir player. He played it first. He's played it the longest, and that is why he is disgusting on that champion.
But again, is it
too late.
Yeah, on the impact. I guess we'll have to see. They actually didn't get the top tower as a result, although Koro is trying something here to take it out. The towers or even the kills, not quite so much. And a dragon up for EDG with 1 alive means about 3,500 gold up for EDG. So a lead, but not overwhelming yet for RNG. Still room to make plays in this game.
This is a little bit concerning of RNG's current positioning on the map, though, is the fact that the dragon is up and Wushin has committed to the top side to make sure that Shin couldn't take the tower for free. And now They're trying to quickly rotate back. I was going to say they've kind of put themselves at an awkward footing to get into this dragon, but it's okay because EDG are really slow to pull the trigger.
Yeah, they're actually late to this dragon, which was not what we saw in game 1. So I guess with all the fighting that's been going on, EDG going to be late to that second objective here, but Phantom Dancer on the way here for Deft. Rabadon Jack on the way here for Pawn, and Aranduin's and a Sunfire already completed for the front line. As Lay and Whoosh, you can give it a go, but I don't know if you're killing Koro.
Oh, he knows.
Ward there as well, just going to buy some time. And he'll dodge out of the way of the gang. Anyway, you know what? He knows at least 2 people are up there. That's going to be a free dragon for EDG.
My favorite part about that is Lay knew that he knew that they knew. And so it's like, I'm going to throw it anyway.
Yep, I mean, you have to. Might as well send a message. But the message is to EDG, hey, go ahead and take Dragon. They'll do just that here as they take Dragon number 2. Nice transition. That was RNG. Answer with a turret in mid lane.
Not a bad trade at all. We'll see if EDG look for the flank. Nope, looks like they changed their mind on that real quick.
Yeah, didn't really want to fight there. Koro does not have his ultimate, so don't blame them for not picking that fight. But going to try and take the tower in the top lane. Koro actually pushing pretty quickly with that Sunfire cape. Should be able to get it. Might not want to commit though. Couple members moving up there, a little afraid. Given that RNG have left the building.
Yeah, needs to be very careful, which is why he's hiding in Fog of War here. Obviously, if you get the objective for free, that's fine, but there are just too many missing members of RNG for Koro to really commit to that.
So no overcommit there for Koro, instead goes back. Buys himself a couple wards. Gonna walk back up to the top lane.
Good ward placement, actually, from RNG. So on the Raptor camp that Pawn just took, you see the pink ward in the brush. That's a fairly common. RNG have warded right up flush against the wall to make sure that they have vision of that choke.
Oh, Jeff now down on the bottom side. Gonna take out Lay. Koro's here as well. The Stand United's been popped, and Thresh doesn't go anywhere. The 2v2 goes horribly wrong for RNG.
Try to find the assassination, but it's just so difficult when you have a global ultimate like the Stand United.
Yep. And now Deft instead gonna keep pushing, take the Grump away there on his vein. Gonna get the blue buff for Pawn as well, and try and push for a tower.
Wushin in a very scary spot. We have Sky quickly moving over. That said, the big factor is the fact that Xiaohu is not nearly in position, but it looks like they're just going to give it up to Sivir's Ricochet.
Yep, Sivir's wave clear pretty good. Mako actually going to gank the mid lane though.
He wants the flash.
He wants it, gets the nado.
He wants the flash.
Needs more, doesn't have enough.
He doesn't have it, that's why.
Shuffles himself away. Gravity Field will disengage. So EDG still trying to find a couple more turrets, you think. Again, it's been a slow game between dragons here. EDG just don't feel rushed when Dragon isn't on the map. Oh, Mako cancelled there. Body slam in. Alley-oop. Easy kill for Sky.
Dunked.
Yep, that is dunked. Those are the best Dragon
He
plays.
was CC chained for 3 seconds there. Just like through the air.
Yep. Airborne for at least 3 seconds. He's hit for probably a couple more.
Oh.
Mako does not live.
He failed his belly bop.
It's okay.
Yeah, he only did it, you know, live in front of
a bunch of people watching. Oh, Koro actually found a
Where
taunt.
are you going, mate?
Pawn now going to lock him up. Power transfer will chase. Chaos Storm's down. Lantern's good enough for a disengage, though. MLXG a little too aggressive in that jungle.
Totally planned. Good job, Lay. Again, the unsung hero of this game.
Synergy continues. Lay almost plays away the little Krug. Ward's the big one. Dares Koro to take it away. And Def is like, you know what? You guys have fun. I'm going to go on the top lane and take a tower. We need some more gold.
Yeah, that moment when Vayne has a 20 CS lead on Sivir. We do have Sky, however.
Ooh, Cliv and Xiaohu having a fight. Cliv winning for a little bit. Maker going to save him. Good Monsoon in the shield there, and Xiaohu now going to get collapsed on. Def finds the last auto. Weaves it in now as Sky's going to get chased down, but cannot escape this. And a double kill there for Vayne. 8-3 and 5 now for Deft.
Clearlove looked like he was in trouble for a second, but the Stand United comes through and Deft picks up 2 more kills. Like you said, 8, 3, and 5 is not where you want the enemy Vayne.
And this is the second game in a row where EDG have fairly early taken a global threat and just done wonders with it.
The Destiny and now into the Stand United.
Yep.
Speaks to the strength of... Ooh,
that was
nice
a flash.
I think he also absorbed it with his spell shield.
No, it's still up, I think. Not too sure. But nice play nonetheless from Whoosh. Doesn't get himself killed. Will lose the tower, unfortunately. Can't spell shield that one as EDG up 6,000 gold now in this game, and the kills are racked up a bit more in this game. Been quite a bit more bloodthirsty as Pawn returns back to the mid lane with a Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed.
Wow, the rush on the Rylai's. That's an interesting build. That said, he doesn't really need to prioritize damage. He has the CDR through his boots, just because you have a really fed Vayne. So I guess it makes sense in the idea that if you're just providing CC and control in front of your Vayne, you empower the 5v5.
We've seen this a lot from Victor. Again, like, the joke was that he does everything, but Victor's utility, I feel like, is underrated, as Deft has found MLXG. Doesn't really carry fights at this point. Great condemn out of the body slam, and Deft gonna take it. Oh, he flashes through the cast. Sky now gonna try and lock him up, but Mako's here. Koro's gonna come down as well. Sky just gets the lance into safety, but Xiaohu dies in mid lane.
Meanwhile, never
Ray now
mind.
going to get the double flavor. He's dead to Victor. Death still chasing in. EDG have gone completely berserk. They'll dive the tower, take out Woosh, take out Sky, and that's going to be the ace. RNG